Hiro is a loser who always wants to escape from his real life. You could say entirely so. He constantly plays games to avoid his reality. His classmates often bully him. One day, he discovers a video game that allows him to enter the game world and return to the real world. What happens inside the game is connected to reality, and the stronger he becomes in the game, the stronger he also becomes in real life. In other words, the power he gains in the game can also be used in the real world. The story begins when Hiro is scolded by his teacher, leaving him frustrated. He considers buying a new video game to release all his emotions on virtual enemies in the game. As he goes to buy a game, he encounters his classmates who frequently bully him and demand money from him. Hiro gives them his money, but when he arrives at the store, he realizes he has given away too much and can't afford the newly released game. Now feeling broke, Hiro ends up at a second-hand game store, hoping to find a cheap game. There, he meets a beautiful girl named Riona, who works at the store. Riona recommends a game that Hiro finds odd. With her charm and beauty, Riona persuades him to buy the game. Although doubtful, Hiro is eventually swayed by Riona's allure and buys the game. After returning home, he's curious and decides to try this game he's never played before. As he sits in his chair and begins playing, a beautiful angel appears on the screen and explains the game to him. When he sees himself in the game, he realizes the console has scanned his entire body and created a character based on his physical abilities. The game feels incredibly real to him. Even falling off his chair causes him pain. In the game, he meets a girl named Alicia, who claims to be his childhood friend. Alicia asks him for help harvesting apples. Hiro agrees, but suddenly Alicia's older brother, Martin, appears. Martin is his friend in real life, but in the game, Martin gives him a virtual apple that he can actually taste. Hiro then remembers the angels mentioning the protection of this world from the Demon King, and they must go to Flora Castle. When Hiro expresses his intention to go to Flora Castle, the people around him are shocked and try to stop him. One of them warns him that the village is surrounded by a dangerous forest and no one, especially men, is allowed to leave the village. Entering there is forbidden because there are many large wild animals and frequent monsters like goblins, someone says. Feeling confident as though he's still in a game, Hiro believes he can handle all the monsters, including goblins. However, when he strikes, he experiences intense pain and falls. When his friend tries to eat something with a knife, Hiro inadvertently strikes him, causing Martin to die on the spot. He pleads for someone to heal him, but Alicia says he's already dead and there's no way to bring him back. Terrified, Hiro begins to flee. Alicia, wanting revenge for her brother, chases him. As he hides, Riona appears and tells him that he's made good progress in the game to reach this point. She didn't expect him to get this far, but he responds that he doesn't like the game. Around his neck is a necklace indicating his title as Best Friend. He explains that he didn't mean to kill Martin. It was an accident, but Riona tells him that nothing can be done now. She further explains that since the game data saves automatically, he can't restart the game. He's deeply frustrated. Riona tells him that if he wants to start over, he must buy the reincarnation scroll item, which is very expensive, costing 000, far beyond his financial means. He begs for a refund, but Riona tells him that store policy prohibits returns or refunds. However, there's another player trapped in the game, named Jinji. She suggests he seek Jinji's help to learn more about the game so he can play better. She warns him that this is a dead game with very few players, so he'll face many challenges. Another player, Ganji, started the game similarly. She advises him to meet Ganji for advice. Checking his funds, he finds he only has $30. Riona suggests he buy new clothes since he's now a fugitive, with everyone, including the city guards, searching for him. They went to a clothing store where the price was $50, but after bargaining, he bought the clothes for $25. However, he didn't mind because the price didn't really matter to him. On the way, he asked about Jinji and what to do next. Riona told him that he couldn't leave the town just like that because it was a major trading area, and leaving without permission was illegal. At that moment, Alicia arrived, holding the same knife that had been used to kill her brother. She wanted revenge. She tried to apologize, but Riona told her it was pointless. Riona also emphasized that this situation was unusual, and she needed to flee immediately because they were now a serious threat to her. She then fled to a safe place and asked what to do next. Riona advised her to survive and told her that she now had a new title. "Hey, I've changed now, which means I am now the best friend killer runner," she said. "Now, what should I do?" She looked for the log out option, but it was already gone. Then someone told her, "Maybe you're in a battle, so you can't log out." At that moment, Alicia attacked her again, and she felt a painful wound on her body. She said, "But the pain in this game is much less than in the real world." Still, she felt angry about it and tried to escape. While she was trying to run, Riona started to attack Alicia. In fact, only Riona, alias Hero, could see Alicia, not any monsters or other players. He helped her, and eventually, she managed to log out and leave. However, Hero thought about going back to play the game again. When he got to school, he met a friend named Taka, who laughed with him. But Taka said, "You need to be braver in facing those who bully you. Also, you should cut down on gaming because it's not going to do you any good. Your body will only get worse." When he got home, his brother also scolded him, "Stop gaming at night. You're too loud and disturb my sleep." Hero thought about what he should do but still went back into the game. Even though he felt pain in the game, he still wanted to continue. In the game, he found a healing potion that was quite good for his recovery. He tried pressing the potion multiple times to use it, but it didn't work. He didn't know how to use the potion. Just then, a big-bodied player arrived and saw him, then said, "What are you trying to do? Is your name Gingy?" Gingy nodded. "Yes, I'm Gingy. But who are you?" The player said he was also a player like Gingy and started helping him by applying the potion to his wound as if it were in real life. They then arrived at a bustling casino full of people. There, they talked, and Hero told him everything. How he was trapped in the game and became the best friend killer. He explained everything in hopes of finding help. The player told him that the game was connected to the real world. The stronger you are in real life, the stronger you are in the game, and vice versa. Hero began to think that he needed to get stronger physically in the real world. Another player named Kiro, who had completed the entire game with ease, was also there. Hero thought he had also been playing long enough and even earned the title Heartless. Suddenly, Hero shouted to call the guards. This scared him, and the guards quickly came to arrest him. Hero shouted, "I'm also a player like you. How can you do this to me?" The game world was faster than the real world, and so many guards arrived. They warned him not to reveal the truth about himself as a killer and rewarded him for capturing a criminal. The guard then told him, "Let's go." But Hero tried to escape to keep playing the game, even if he became a criminal. However, Gingy caught him and handed him back. As he exited, many people threw vegetables, tomatoes, and even stones at him, treating him as the best friend killer. He tried to convince the guards that all of this was happening because of the fairy's words. He said that one day, he would be called by the royal family to slay the Demon King. However, he mentioned that this story was frequently told by many who were trapped. Suddenly, he saw Alicia waiting for him with a knife, looking for a chance to attack him. He said that now, if he were put in prison, the people transporting him there would drop him off inside. They immediately granted his wish, and he was placed in a cell with guards patrolling. He tried to exit the system, but the logout button was gone due to an ongoing event. He felt confused and tried seeking help but was unsuccessful. He thought about continuing the game but felt the urge to use the restroom. Upon going to the restroom, he smelled a terrible stench and felt the situation was very bad there. Suddenly, the ghostly figure of an old friend appeared, reminding him of the promise they made under a tree in their childhood. The figure asked why he broke that promise. He couldn't remember the promise, and the ghost replied that all it wanted was justice. The ghost began blowing blood towards him, scaring him into screaming for help. Then, a girl named Risa appeared, saying she would help him. They were to engage in various activities together, including some more mature ones. When he received a notification about these activities, he thought it would be interesting and decided to proceed with the event. He was taken to a place and tied up. The girl gave him a sinister look, and he wondered what was about to happen. She pulled out a large knife and said she would torture him slowly. He started screaming for help, but this only made the girl more excited. She said she enjoyed watching people in pain. He called for Riona to help, but when Riona arrived, she was annoyed because she'd been busy watching anime and hadn't logged in right away. Though angry, Riona said she was glad to finally see him but couldn't do much besides telling him to endure and accept his punishment for his misdeeds. The character felt extreme fear, and in his terror, he wet himself. This only excited the girl further until a guard appeared, ordering her to stop. The guard mentioned he just discovered a new trick to escape the torture. After the event ended, he logged out and vowed never to play the game again because it was too horrifying. The next day, he prepared for a track competition as an athlete. His friend Taka warned him about a runner named Mori who had beaten him previously. However, he stated that he would stay focused on the competition. On his way, he met a retired athlete named Mike. Mike told him he really wanted to see him win the race. He said, "I have faith in both of you, Mori and you." He responded, "All right, I'll be here to run." Mori then told him to concentrate and take the race seriously, urging him to run seriously to win. He replied, "Of course." When the starting pistol fired, he took off. He ran fast but still lagged behind, so he increased his speed and kept pushing forward. However, he fell and got disqualified. At the same time, he wet his pants. When people came to check, they noticed he had wet himself, and everyone just laughed, saying he had fallen and wet himself. Embarrassed, he tried to clean up and left. His sister tried to encourage or motivate him, but he lashed out at her instead. Mickey came and told him that as an athlete, mental strength was essential, so he needed to strengthen his mind. When he got home, his sister told him he was always up all night playing games and shouting, making it hard for her to study. His mother came and asked him to calm down and offered him tea, but he said he would sell the game because he thought it was terrible. However, his sister teased him, saying he wanted to sell it because he couldn't finish the game. At school, teachers tried talking to him about his future goals, but as usual, he ignored them and left. Outside, he went to Riona's shop and tried to return the game, saying he wanted to sell it back, but Riona asked him not to. He said the game was terrible, but in reality, he felt traumatized by the last incident in the game, so he wanted to sell it. Riona told him about a player named Kamai, who had managed to complete the entire game. After completing it, that player made a video or website detailing how to play the game and get stronger. She explained that the player underwent intense training like running 5 kilometers daily, doing 500 push-ups and sit-ups every day, which made his body strong enough to complete the game with ease. However, Kamai continued to mock new players, calling them worthless. He insulted beginners, saying they lacked ability. Suddenly, Rio appeared from behind, hugging him and saying she would marry anyone who could beat the game besides Kamai, which gave him a bit of motivation to try playing the game again. Upon re-entering the game, he resumed from where he had left off, where he had wet his pants, and everyone held their noses. This time, Riona joined him in the game to guide him. In the game, a guard stopped him, saying Tesla had ordered him to be brought to her, so he was taken away. There was a strong smell of urine, so everyone held their noses. Amise was thrilled to see him and started to develop an interest in him, wanting to get to know him better. They walked down a dark hallway where all prisoners were taken, and he could hear people screaming. They arrived at a mansion where he was told it was the governor's mansion where the governor lived with Tesla. He was informed that Tesla would meet him there. He thought, "This game is absolutely disgusting." He started playing the game, and in the game, he was made into a criminal. When he met Tesla in the game, Tesla asked him to sit in front of him. Although he was initially reluctant to sit because he was drunk, he eventually sat down. Tesla also noticed that he was drunk from the smell. Tesla asked him why he had called him here, and Riona explained that he was summoned because of the incident. Then, he told him about Alicia, repeating everything Alicia had told him. Alicia described how she killed him. But why would someone want to kill their own friend with a knife? I saw there was a sword in the room, but she chose to use a knife to stab her friend, which means it was an accident, not murder. That's why I want to clear your name and apologize for the misunderstanding that led to your imprisonment. After this, you'll be completely free, so enjoy your meal. After eating, he was told that if he had trouble with Alicia again, he could come here for help. He felt happy to finally be free. After leaving, he asked Riona where he should go. Riona told him that he should go home to pick something up. However, on the way, people started throwing stones at him, calling him a friend killer and a criminal. He ran and hid quickly. Riona praised his speed and suggested that he find a way to protect himself, perhaps by getting smoke bombs to avoid Alicia. He only had $5, which was not enough to buy anything. Riona suggested he take something from an elderly man walking by, but he refused to steal. He then tried to find a job at a store that paid $100, but the work was so disgusting that he declined and argued with the manager. The manager kicked him out of the store. Riona then said all his efforts had failed and maybe he should ask for help from Gingy, another player. Although he hated Gingy, he eventually agreed. They went to the casino and found Gingy drinking, messing up his life. Gingy greeted him and complimented Riona, which made Riona feel awkward. He asked Riona about her experience, and Riona said she was freed because he was drunk. Gingy mocked him, calling him a drunk kid. This made him angry, and he took out his frustration on an old man there. After the fight, he ended up falling asleep at the table, while Riona said, "Now you're really defeated." So, he handed over all his money as requested. As a first condition, he gave all the money to someone named Ro. When the old man came out with the money, he was given a new title, Old Man Robber, meaning an old man who robs. The old man asked, "Weren't you the one who created this title? Then why did I get this title?" They replied, "Yes, that's the way it is, but it's still better than your previous title, Best Friend Killer." The old man then went to a store to buy some smoke bombs, but the smoke bombs were more expensive because he had been in prison. With no other choice, he bought just 2 smoke bombs and returned home. Upon entering, he saw Swara, but beside him sat a woman named Alicia who seemed ready to capture him. The old man threw a smoke bomb at her, but nothing happened. Alicia explained that the smoke bomb had to be lit first to work. The old man struggled to figure out how to light it, looking like a fool. However, Alicia took advantage of the moment to attack him, but suddenly Risa arrived to help and said, "You can't kill him that way." The old man was shocked and asked, "How did you get here?" Then Alicia also arrived and asked why Risa was helping a criminal. Risa explained that Tesla had given orders that the old man was no longer a criminal, so he had been freed. Anyone defying Tesla's orders would be considered a criminal, so if Alicia killed the old man, she would become a criminal herself. However, Alicia didn't care and still wanted revenge. Risa then said to Alicia, "Why don't you join my team? That would be better." However, Riona suddenly appeared and asked how the old man had gotten there. Riona replied that she followed the smell of the old man, wanting to interrogate him further. She had been following him everywhere. The old man admitted that his urine smell was quite strong and spread far. However, this made him feel in danger. Alicia took advantage of the opportunity to attack the old man, but Risa stopped her and started fighting with her. Alicia seemed to grow stronger in the battle, but Riona urged her to leave. The old man recalled a lesson. If you can win without fighting, try to drive your opponent away. The old man then grabbed Alicia by the chest, surprising and angering her as she felt grown up. But the trick didn't work because Alicia immediately kicked him between the legs, causing him to fall. Alicia's older brother then arrived and said he wanted revenge. However, Alicia smelled her brother, and as she was about to attack, he caught her and declared his love for her, saying he wanted to always be with her, to compete, or even live together. Alicia replied that such tricks wouldn't work anymore, as it was too late for all of that. Time had passed, and it was too far gone. Finally, Alicia walked away in tears. Riona then said, "It was easy for you to win this battle." However, she felt very guilty for not being able to save Alicia's brother. Alicia left, crying. Risa then said, "Forgive me and thank you so much for your help. Help was actually strong enough, but what if you join my team?" However, she refused to join and left with him, as she only enjoyed torturing. She checked on Swat, who was in very poor condition. Riona suggested she go to the blacksmith to repair her sword, but she ignored the suggestion and said her friend, who spoke of a tree, could take her to the place, which was the Kinder tree. Riona said, "Of course, it's a big tree." As she approached the tree, she called out to her friend, and from behind appeared a figure like her friend's spirit or soul. He said, "Come with me. I've come to seek justice for my death." However, she began apologizing, saying it all happened because of a mistake. She felt very sorry, and suddenly her friend showed her memories of her past. After that, she apologized again. Her friend, Martin, forgave her and thanked her for keeping her promise. But Riona said she couldn't feel or hear her friend's words. Somehow, she could still feel her friend's emotions. That's when they realized something was wrong, as the whole city was filled with smoke from multiple fires. They asked someone what had happened, but the people were panicked and no one wanted to speak, so they had to investigate on their own.